Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to be making some spinning paper ornaments. And here's a couple of examples of what I mean. These will spin around with these gorgeous ribbons at the top and the see-through pieces that you see below. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to make 4 different designs today. And just before we get going, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're going to start a new project now that we're in Cricut Design Space, and we're going to have 4 different files that we want. Here's one of them here. It's called Ornaments 4. Next one is Ornaments 3, Ornaments 2, and Ornaments 1, and we're going to bring them into Design Space. Okay, we're going to bring these 4 right in, so I'm just going to select them and then insert the images. Now they're pretty well set up to go, except the score lines have not been shown as score lines. They all show as cut, so I'm going to change those right now. So I'm just going to select each one of these cut lines using click and shift click. There are 4 of them. We're going to come up here, we're going to change them to score. Now that's about the only thing we need to do, except we need to group these together, such as this one is one group together. It wants us to ungroup, so we know it's in a group. Important to attach. Even if it's grouped, you still need to attach it. Same thing as this one. I'm going to click on them one at a time, and I am going to attach them. Now, one other thing you might want to take into consideration is how big do you want these to be? So for example, this one, if I move it up to the top, you'll see it's 5 inches. And 5 inches isn't so bad. This one's smaller. It is 1, 2, 3 inches. Probably want them about 6 inches each. So just under 6. So if you bring it so you leave a quarter of an inch here to the top and just bring it down to the 6. I'm going to do this with all of them. Up to the quarter, bring it down to it's almost to the 6. And they're going to be really gorgeous when they're a little larger. You can make them smaller if you want. One more to go here. Almost down to the 6. That looks pretty good. Now, one last thing we have to do, because you can't just cut one of these, you have to have 4 copies. So that means 5 in total for each one of these. So I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to select them all, and I go duplicate 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're actually all ready to go ahead with this project. Let's save it. I'm just going to call it Spinning Paper Ornaments. Going to save it. And now I'm going to go over to Make It. What you really want to make sure here is that you have enough room to cut out and they're all facing the same way. And the reason I'm saying facing the same way, if you have a pattern paper that you're going to use, such as this one, if you had one upside down, then the ornament's not going to look as good as it should. So we want to check all of these to make sure nothing's sideways. Now you'll see one has been turned sideways here. We are going to have to move it so it faces the right way. And it's not quite 100% turned. That looks pretty good there. I can just move it into place. Now we've only got 3 on here, which means 2 are missing. So let's go take a look at the next one. Well, they look like they're all in the same place, facing the same direction. That means I just have to have 2 different ones here. Let's go and check some of the others. Those are all facing the same direction. That's going to need a second one as well. And let's go down to the last one here. The red one. They're all facing in the right direction. Now, it doesn't matter if they face in the right direction if you're going to use a paper that it really doesn't make any difference which way you turn it. But most often when I'm making ornaments, I like to have the pattern paper So it all has to face in one direction. So now we are ready to cut these, and I will get them cut and then we'll go over to the demo table and put it together. Okay, all the pieces are now cut. I've gone ahead and I've pre-folded a lot of these. We have 4 different ones that we're going to be putting together. The important part is to remember the crease, you want the pattern to the inside. So when we turn it, we can see the score line. And we'll bring it down as close as possible. Just give it a little smooth. We're going to be doing the same thing for each one of these, so we'll go through the process. Okay, we have the stars, we have the slots, we have another long one here. I'm keeping all the extra little hearts and stars that were cut out. I can use those for decoration later. And then we have the one with the hearts. Okay, we have the 4 that we're going to be putting together. Now, a couple of things you're going to need. You are going to need some ribbon. I just used a Celebrate ribbon. It was $4. It's quite wide for what I want. So what I did with both of these ribbons is I cut them in half. And these are about 12 inches long. So we're going to prepare these a little ahead of time just before we put these together. So all we're going to do with the ribbon is we are going to join them together here with a little bit of glue, and I'm using a neutral adhesive glue here. You could use a glue runner if you wanted to. Just a little bit of glue on the end. I just want these to dry in place before we start to put the cards together, and we'll just put those together like that. Just hold. The reason I'm using a neutral pH one, you could use a tacky glue as well so you can place stuff easier, but this one seems to work the same way. Oh, that one fell apart on me. Not enough glue. Okay, let's put those to the side. And we are now going to start, let's start with our stars. And we're going to do the same thing for each one of them. What we want to do are glue these all together in a stack like this, and then we'll turn these 2 together and make another join. So let's start with this one. Just going to put a little bit of glue. Just going to, I don't need a lot. Just kind of dot it where I want it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want to try and match these up as best as possible. Shouldn't have put anything at the top. So I'm just going to slide those into place, match them up. As you can see, we can match these as best as possible. With the stars, it's pretty easy because you want to be able to see through those stars. Now we want to hold that in place, because it's going to be really key that it sticks together. Now the other thing you can do if you don't like using glue is you can use a tape runner on here as well. So now what you'll have the ability to open these up to make your ornament. Looks really cute. Now the last thing you want to do is you want to add your ribbon. Now you're going to add your ribbon into the center here. So what I'm using is I'm using a little weeding tool here. And I'm just going to open this up a little bit so I can slide in my ribbon. Now it doesn't matter how you slide it in, but I'm going to try and center it as best as possible. See, that one might be glued. There we go. Just going to open it up just a little bit like this. What we're going to do now is I'm going to add the glue to both sides of this, but instead of doing that, I'm going to add my glue on the inside here, just like that. And then I'm going to place my ribbon inside, center it as best as possible, and then squeeze it into place and let it dry. So I'm just going to let that one dry. So there's one done. Isn't that sweet? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the other ones together, and then we'll see what we have at the very end. And there we go. We have made 4 different ornaments here. Aren't those gorgeous? Move the ribbon out of the way. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. All different kinds of beautiful Christmas paper. Well, there we have it. We made 4 of these gorgeous little ornaments. There's the first one. We had another one like this. They're all different shapes. You can make lots of them. I've got lots made here. This one had the stars on it. It's just so cute. And I love the one with the hearts as well. Now, I chose a Christmas paper, so that worked out really well. So I just had a simple tacky glue, pair of scissors, some ribbon, and some paper, decorated on one side and plain on the other to make these fabulous ornaments. So one last thing before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and happy crafting!